On the 21st floor of the Great Library of All Knowledge, Kim found all the hunters lying unconscious. "Why is all this happening?" he asked the head of the library. "Don't worry," replied the head of the library. "I purposely made them fall asleep for a while. This world speaks through sense, anger, sadness, joy, and also sleepiness." The head of the library approached Kim enthusiastically. "I want to talk to you without any interruptions. They'll be fine, I assure you." Kim checked the hunter's condition and felt relieved because they were okay. "Then hurry up and talk so we can wake them up." The head of the library doesn't agree. "I want a casual conversation. I just want to talk to you, not your friends," Kim complained. "I still have to keep watch. The head is looking for a sword on the 22nd floor." However, the head librarian with scissors in hand cut Kim's hair. "Your hair is already long. Let me cut it." Kim was confused. The head librarian explained enthusiastically, "You are the ideal character. I was so fascinated that I became your die-hard fan." Kim observed and realized that the head librarian had gone mad. "Give me back my things," Kim shouted, but the head librarian instead asked for Kim's little toe. "Why are you doing this?" Kim shouted. "Because I saw how much you care about the heavenly demon. His story is now part of the 22nd floor thanks to you," answered the head librarian. Kim asked, "Why did the story of the heavenly demon become a prophecy?" The head librarian responded, "There is no wrong ending. Every ending is valid in its own way." Kim felt frustrated. "You just want to see a happy ending, but you didn't fix the prophecy." The head of the library looked interested. He said, "Come with me. I will show you the real secret behind a prophecy." They teleported, heading toward the secret hidden within the grand world of this library. Kim and the head of the library arrived at the 22nd floor, floating in the air. The head of the library explained, "The zombie virus is not part of the original story. It's an outbreak that came from the outside world, like an invasion." In front of them, they saw the corpse of a dragon with a foul aura and smell. Sparkly detected evil energy. The head of the library added, "This is the secret of a dead star. And the regret from this corpse spreads as a curse, turning martial artists into zombies." Kim asked, "Why did he kill Rahasi Bintang? Wasn't he already an emperor?" The head librarian answered, "I don't know the exact reason. I'm just a reader. However, you, since you're someone who can intervene, have the chance to fix all these problems." The head librarian explained that the Constellations' death caused the destruction of the world, a world without that constellation, like a fortress without walls. And the prophecy is a world without the constellation heading toward destruction. Kim asked Sparkly, "What should I do to help your sister?" Sparkly answered, "Take me out and use me to touch her." Kim drew his sword, and a bright light appeared. It shone towards the sword that was stuck in the dragon's body. However, as the light tried to pull the sword, a strong aura pressure and the figure of a monster appeared. It was shadowy. A system notification appeared. The sword of affection refused to be absorbed. Kim struggled against the black aura from the sword of affection, which strongly resisted. In the midst of his struggle, the sword of affection judged him. "Someone unworthy has no right to wield me. The proof of your worthiness is your ability to be loved by others." Kim asked, "How can I prove I'm worthy?" The sword of affection judges, "I'm in this situation because of a lack of affection. Prove that you can receive affection from others. Surrender your body and heart to me." The goddess of protection objected, but Kim said, "I can't wield a sword I'm not familiar with. If that means I have to reveal my memories, do it." The sword of compassion saw Kim's journey and said, "You have a weakness for good intentions, but you do not fight to look good in the eyes of others. The previous master may not have been perfect, but I would not follow you if you were not suitable. Kim replied, I will do my best. If I go astray, set me straight. We will pray together to stay on the right path. The Sword of Compassion finally accepted Kim as its new master and said, I will serve you wholeheartedly. The sword then flew into Kim's grasp, and the corpse of the yellow dragon disappeared. The head librarian commented, Winter is the season of death, and you finally managed to end it. Kim smelled the scent of spring and asked how easy the next floor would be. The head librarian explained, I'm responsible for floors 21 to 30, and I've made things easier for you. Kim wonders why the head librarian likes Levanta Aigim, the Constellation killer. The head librarian explains, I want to appear in the novel I like as a character. I don't want to be an anomaly in the story. The head librarian continues, why didn't you kill the celestial demon? He could be a force you could rely on. Kim answers hesitantly, but the head librarian understands. I don't want to be directly involved in the destruction of the world. Just like you, I don't want to be involved either. I'm waiting for the day when Levanta Aigim comes to my library. On that day, I will appear in his story. Kim asked, Are you ready to die at the hands of the protagonist? The head librarian answered, That's right. Having the chance to die at the hands of the protagonist is the best epilogue. Kim and the head librarian walked along the 22nd floor, enjoying the new atmosphere. Suddenly, members of the demon sect appeared. They greeted Kim as the vice chairman. Kim asked, Has the funeral finished? The sect member answered, Not yet. It's still ongoing. The blood demon told Kim that the heavenly demon's body has disappeared. You'll understand if you see it for yourself. That's what he said. Kim was escorted to the burial site and found that the heavenly demon's body had disappeared along with the melting snow. The blood demon explained, We didn't have time to do anything. His pure energy caused his body to melt. Sword Emperor commented, Your master left a beautiful flower at his death. Kim refused the traditional funeral and suggested, It's better if we have a martial arts competition as a celebration. Part of the funeral is to offer what is most precious. For us, that was the technique left behind by Master. The members of the demon sect fought with Kim in front of the grave to celebrate the funeral. Time passed. In the Grand Library, Viper told Kim, I moved the celestial headquarters to the 22nd floor. Kim was surprised. Viper continued, I will serve as a protector for my injured master. I want to comfort him and strengthen my guild. Kim admired Viper and said, I'm impressed with your leadership, Viper explained. I'm just doing what's right. We can't let this world remain cruel. Sword Emperor contacted Kim. Let's duel again in the next prophecy. Decision, the head librarian offered. I've made special socks and shoes for you. Goddess of Medicine greets Kim. I have created a mass vaccine for the zombie virus. Kim asks about the relocation plan, and the Goddess of Medicine explains her plan to expand her shop with the help of noblewomen. Kim refuses and offers to pay for the relocation and design costs. The Goddess of Medicine is touched, and Kim asks for priority on potion and medicine requests. The King of Medicine appears and asks Kim to prepare a place for him as well. Sword Saint, embarrassed, takes him away while apologizing. The Goddess of Medicine opens her pharmacy on the 20th floor with great fanfare. Preta, Skeleton, and the Fire Emperor also liven up the pharmacy. In the Celestial Clan, Viper manages the vaccine queue with the King of Medicine. The Black Magician congratulates Kim. You played a big role in resolving the story of the Celestial Demon. Tower cleaning. It's going smoothly. Maybe we'll reach the 30th floor next month. Arrived, a system notification appears. The raid on the 25th floor failed. The screen shows the Crusader and the noblewoman lying motionless. They seem to be dead. The notification repeats. The raid on the 25th floor failed. At Sormewin Academy, which is famous for its long history, the romance theme has a difficulty level of D. It takes 2 to 5 participants. This academy is a place where friendship, rivalry, love, and jealousy mix together. However, in its basement, there is a sealed artifact that could destroy the world. The Black Mage was alarmed by the news that the noblewoman and the paladin had failed. That was impossible. They are the 2 best, he said. The head librarian closed the book of prophecy and said, "What a pity. What's done is done." His words made all the hunters, including Kim, anxious. The head librarian continued, "I hope you can understand my position. Unless, of course, you can undo what's already done." He looked at Kim and winked. Kim was frustrated in the library restroom, saying to the Sword Emperor, "I've never read a romance novel, but I can't let them die." The head librarian encouraged me. "I have to go." The Sword Emperor suggested giving up. However, Kim decided to commit suicide in order to return to 24 hours before the failure happened. When Kim returned, he approached the paladin and the noblewoman, saying, "I will lead the fulfillment of this prophecy." They were doubtful, and the paladin asked, "You want to take the lead on this?" Kim explained, "I managed to complete the story of the celestial demon without reading the martial arts novel. I have a bad feeling about this prophecy. Let me lead." The Black Mage and Sword Saint were surprised, but agreed, seeing Kim's proven abilities. "I think it's fine," said the Black Mage. The noblewoman added, "Love is about money. I'm needed here." Kim invited the Inquisitor to join, even though the Black Mage was worried because the Inquisitor was considered a psychopath. Kim explained that appearance is important in a romantic theme, and the Inquisitor can respond to events with divine magic. The head librarian opened a book and took out 3 cards: prosopagnosia, lucky eavesdropping, and sorry for misspeaking. These are cards for a romantic story. The final prize will be found in the prophecy, the head librarian said. The head librarian was excited. "Welcome to Sormewin Academy. Hope you create a great ending." Kim and the Inquisitor were surprised when they were teleported to the prophecy. As soon as they arrived, the Inquisitor was immediately slapped by a woman, and they were given the roles of a noble lady and her servant. At a luxurious banquet, a noblewoman scolded the Inquisitor, whom she had just slapped. Even after falling down, the Inquisitor remained cheerful and innocently asked, "Did I do something wrong?" The noblewoman said, "You are a lowly woman who has no manners." Not long after, Kim thought to himself, "This is a banquet for the upper class. The woman in front of me is the antagonist of this prophecy." From what I can remember from my previous life, the Empire was very advanced in magic and alchemy. This woman is the daughter of a duke who holds the 2nd highest status after the royal family. And she is the one who will bring this prophecy to an end 10 days from now. The reason is that the antagonist loses her fiancé, who is the crown prince. The maid was ordered to drive Kim and the Inquisitor out. "Kim, where are you taking us?" "Maid, I'm sorry, but you have to come with us." They were taken to a prison cell, and Kim was confused about what would happen next. Inside the prison, Kim tried to open the door while the Inquisitor was lying on the floor. The Inquisitor cheerfully commented on her new role as the female protagonist, and Kim felt frustrated with the situation. The Inquisitor used her divine ability to capture him. The Inquisitor changed her appearance to look more like a noblewoman. Kim was impressed with the result, although he thought there were a few things that needed improvement. "Kim, this is great. You sound like an elegant noblewoman." "Inquisitor, thank you, but don't forget, take good care of yourself. Stress can stop you like residue clogging a machine." As they were talking, a group of people in black robes broke through the prison window and stormed in. Kim, with his shining sword, fights the intruders. The Inquisitor also takes action with his weapon. Defeats most of the intruders. "Inquisitor, don't kill them all. We need to find out who's behind this." The Inquisitor interrogates the intruders. and casually kills one of them as an example, because that intruder asked for it himself. Kim stops the Inquisitor from killing all the intruders and starts interrogating them, using his mind-reading ability. Kim finds out that the intruders want to kidnap the noblewoman, and that the real culprit is someone in a high-ranking position who wants to get rid of the Inquisitor. Suddenly, a man in a white robe appears. The Crown Prince. He embraces the Inquisitor with great care. The Crown Prince. Sylvia, you're safe now. I've come to protect you. Kim watches with a mysterious expression as the Crown Prince expresses his concern to the Inquisitor who has possessed the protagonist's body. According to this story's prophecy, 2 honorable names are announced by the Emperor. Sylvia Evaniel, now known as Lady Golden Plum, and Raphael Ivancia, the Lady of the Silver Lily. They both entered the same academy, marking the arrival of a great storm. The Crown Prince embraces the Inquisitor with great care. Meanwhile, Kim watches cynically from behind. The Crown Prince, with a sharp gaze, asks Kim, "You survived, right?" Kim replies, "Yes. Fortunately, I'm still alive. Thank you." However, in his heart, Kim doubts the Crown Prince's intentions. When Kim expresses his dissatisfaction with the Crown Prince's attitude, the notification system shows the progress of character synchronization. Kim is forced to say words he doesn't want to say. Feeling pressured by the force influencing him, the Crown Prince, without annoyance, criticizes Kim. Noble families choose their servants based on their eloquence. Kim, overwhelmed by his feelings, responding with words that only frustrate him more. Seeing flashbacks from the past, Kim feels frustrated seeing Paladin and the lady involved in love and sacrifice in a critical moment. The system notification shows that Kim's synchronization has only reached 2%. Kim tries to talk to the Crown Prince to get more information. However, the selfish Crown Prince only replies that he will protect Lady Sylvia and reveal the culprit behind the attack. Kim, deeply frustrated, he tries to remind the Inquisitor to stay focused on their goal. We have to return to the room and continue our mission. The Inquisitor, feeling confused, finally agrees and says goodbye to the Crown Prince. Kim and the Inquisitor walk away from the prison. Kim is surprised by the rapid progress of the synchronization and discusses the secret keyword with the Inquisitor to escape from similar situations in the future. As they talk, Raphael Ivancia and his servant approach them. The Inquisitor feels that the body he possesses hates that woman and asks Kim what his facial expression looks like right now. Kim feels anxious, realizing that the character synchronization has increased to 4%. In the quiet of midnight, Raphael Ivancia, Lady of the Silver Lily, stands gracefully before Kim and the Inquisitor. Kim feels uneasy, trying to wake up the Inquisitor, who seems too relaxed. Raphael loudly asks the Inquisitor, "Miss Golden Plum Silk, are you all right? I heard you were attacked. You're resilient, so a few assassins aren't a problem for you." The Inquisitor answers with a mysterious smile. "Oh, so you came tonight just to worry about me? I feel very flattered." Kim grows more anxious seeing this argument. The Inquisitor says in a cynical tone, "Raphael, I want to learn from you. It seems like you're great at hitting others." Raphael's servants are angry, but Kim quickly bows and apologizes. She's still in shock after the traumatic incident. "We have to leave now." Raphael's servants act angrily. However, Raphael stops them. Kim pulls the Inquisitor away while saying, "We will leave now." The Inquisitor tries to resist. However, Kim doesn't give him any room to resist. Once outside, Kim anxiously asks the Inquisitor, "Are you back to your senses?" The Inquisitor, with a tense expression, answers, "What did I just say?" At the dormitory where Mrs. Golden Plum lives, Kim quickly closes the room door and says, "Let's decide on a secret code. When I say, When spring comes, you answer, the magnolia falls. The Inquisitor follows the instructions, and Kim feels relieved when the Inquisitor returns to normal. Kim then goes to the kitchen to prepare tea. However, he suddenly seems to love the task of making tea because his synchronization increases. When Kim regains his senses, he becomes annoyed. Damn romance story, he shouts after serving the tea. The Inquisitor tastes it and says, the tea is salty. Kim just replies, shut up and drink. Even though the tea tastes bad, the Inquisitor still acts cheerful. Saying thank you, Kim sits in front of the Inquisitor and says, we have to unite the antagonist and the Crown Prince, or destroy their relationship. The Inquisitor asks about the plan. Kim explains, we will act like jerks to lower the character's synchronization. With determination, Kim calls the Fire Emperor to start their plan. On a bright morning at Sormewin Academy, the students hurry to their classes. In the middle of the crowd, they see the rogue Inquisitor and Kim, who seem to be acting like troublemakers. Did you sleep well last night? One of the girls asked with great curiosity. The rogue Inquisitor, with a cynical tone, answered, not at all. I almost died from an assassin's attack, and you're asking if I slept well. He approached the student with a sharp gaze and a threat. Does your head feel calm? Is your brain safe? Suddenly, the female student fainted from severe shock. Her friend panicked. Mrs. White Orchid, are you okay? The heretical Inquisitor responded with a cynical tone. You guys are overreacting. I was just asking. She also offended another student by saying, is your hair red because you play outside too much? Keep your face from turning red as well. You idiot. The red-haired student also fainted. Kim looked relaxed with his sunglasses. The rogue Inquisitor expressed his excitement to Kim. Your synchronization didn't increase. Let's become a noble lady and a bastard servant. We have to learn from the Fire Emperor. Kim bowed. Thank you for the compliment, my lady. The rogue Inquisitor decided to act according to Kim's suggestion, and they began training to become jerks. However, some of the servants were angry and challenged Kim to a fight for their master's honor. The heretic Inquisitor quickly agreed to the fight, but he demanded 5 gold coins for each round. The challenging servant took out some coins, but one of them only had silver coins. The heretic Inquisitor insisted on accepting all types of money. Kim confidently prepared himself for the duel. The Crown Prince, hearing the commotion, ran to the scene. He saw Kim fighting and awkwardly criticized Kim. What are you doing? You have failed as a servant. Kim replied, sorry, Your Highness. I was only following my master's orders. The Crown Prince then scolded the heretical Inquisitor. Sylvia, don't use a servant like him. I can help you choose a better servant. Meanwhile, the female students were gossiping. They were talking about the relationship between the Crown Prince and the heretical Inquisitor. The Crown Prince asked the heretical Inquisitor, what do you think? Meanwhile, Kim was thinking, which is stronger, Lady Golden Plum's love or the heretical Inquisitor's ego? The heretical Inquisitor surprised everyone by asking about the attempt on his life. And the Crown Prince was confused as he answered that the investigation into the assassin was not yet finished. The heretical Inquisitor asked the Crown Prince to value Kim, because the Inquisitor trusted Kim very much. The Crown Prince felt annoyed, knelt down and said, you're fired. I will fulfill all of Lady Golden Plum's needs. Kim was shocked, and the female students screamed hysterically. The commotion suddenly stopped when Raphael appeared gracefully and asked, what's all this noise? Is there anyone who loves you more than I do? Is there anyone who cares more out of love than I do? Have you seen a greater emptiness in anyone else's eyes when they're not near you? Have you ever felt a gentler touch on your skin? Other than mine, there isn't, and there never will be, because I am the one who makes it happen. That is the heartfelt message from Raphael to the Crown Prince. Raphael stood beside the Crown Prince, who was kneeling before the heretical inquisitor. The Crown Prince, in a flat tone, asked about Raphael's health, as it was rumored he was ill this morning. Raphael respectfully replied, hoping that the Crown Prince was also in good health. Raphael suggested that they enjoy the beauty of spring together. The Crown Prince, a little confused, agreed to join, and the Inquisitor and Kim also joined in. Kim felt anxious about the impact of the increased character synchronization from this meeting. He whispered to the heretical Inquisitor about their synchronization rate increasing by 2%. After finding the information, Kim reminded himself to stay alert. Raphael then invited them to his house, citing confidentiality as the reason. At his residence, they all headed to the basement, where 3 servants were tied up and severely injured. Raphael apologized for the filthy condition and explained that the servants were responsible for the assassination plot against Lady Plum Emas and the Crown Prince. Anxiously, he asked if the perpetrator had been caught. Raphael showed the servants helplessness and forced them to reveal the reason behind their actions. The servant admitted to committing the act out of personal revenge against Madame Plum Emas. Kim suspected that the confession was fake to protect the Crown Prince. Raphael then handed a sword to the Crown Prince, urging him to execute the servants as punishment for their crimes. The Crown Prince, uneasy, seemed hesitant, but Raphael assured him that the action was necessary to maintain security and reputation. With utmost seriousness, Raphael took responsibility for failing to manage the servants, even revealing the wound on his arm as proof of his commitment. The Crown Prince, with a sword in his hand, looked confused and distressed facing this situation. Meanwhile, Kim watched this tension with concern, observing their every move. Raphael's mother was seen sitting on her bed, and Raphael stood beside her. "My dear daughter, don't get your hopes up too much. Whenever you start to think, maybe this is the time," his mother said, holding Raphael's face as he knelt beside her bed. "The world will whisper to you again. Try again. If you still want to be known in this world, then remember this. Give your whole life without any intention of receiving any reward. Forgive those who will celebrate your death. Let people satisfy their greedy desires, whether it's on top of your most sacred sacrifice or your most naive desire. And just like that, don't leave anything behind in this world at your last moment." That was the last message from Raphael's mother. After his mother passed away, she was cremated. That was a flashback from Raphael's past. In the basement of Raphael's residence, a tense atmosphere filled the air. With wounded hands, Raphael asked the Crown Prince to uphold the law. The Crown Prince looked confused, glancing at the heretical Inquisitor and Kim behind him. Raphael challenged the Crown Prince. "Do you want to take this case to a higher court? Or test the limits of tolerance?" The Crown Prince hoped the heretical Inquisitor would defend him. The heretical Inquisitor, with a mysterious smile, said that everyone in this room would keep their mouths shut, protecting the Crown Prince from blame. He then asked Raphael, "What can you gain from this? Do you intend to take the Crown Prince's punishment in his place?" Raphael replied that as the daughter of a duke's family, it was only natural for her to take responsibility for her servant's mistake. The heretical Inquisitor kept provoking, asking if Raphael expected a reward, but Raphael firmly stated that she was only fulfilling her duty. Kim, who was monitoring the situation, decided to use the knowledge of the servant he had possessed. He suggested that everyone involved, including Raphael, should punish the guilty servant. The Crown Prince, feeling pressured, agreed with the idea. Raphael initially refused, but eventually agreed to carry out the punishment. The Crown Prince threw his sword in frustration, shouting about the many people who had already been punished because of Raphael. Raphael asked for the order to execute the servant, and the Crown Prince hesitantly gave it. Raphael killed one of the servants without hesitation. Meanwhile, the Crown Prince, terrified, covered his face. The heretic inquisitor then killed the other servant and urged the crown prince to finish the punishment. Kim stopped the crown prince, who tried to escape, forcing him to hold the sword and carry out the punishment. Kim threatened and forced the crown prince to kill the last servant. The crown prince, visibly shocked, reluctantly carried out the execution. Raphael gracefully saluted the crown prince, reminding him of his responsibilities as a leader. The crown prince, frustrated, dropped his sword and ran away. Kim, observing Raphael kneeling, began to feel a desire to understand this mysterious woman. The heretical inquisitor relaxed in the garden with Kim as his servant. The heretical inquisitor said that Raphael didn't come because she was sick and exhausted, after spending the whole night interrogating her guard. He also added that the crown prince was absent today, perhaps shocked and preferring to study at home because of yesterday's events. Kim listened to the academy students gossiping that the two of them were crazy. The heretical inquisitor, who claimed his synchronization rate had reached 20%, asked for extra red tea, and Kim prepared it reluctantly. While pouring the tea, Kim suddenly saw a system notification, and which showed that synchronization had just started at 10%. Surprised, he threw the hot tea at the heretical inquisitor. The heretical inquisitor complained because his hair was ruined, and Kim asked if that scream meant that the heretical inquisitor had fully become Lady Golden Plum. The heretical inquisitor retaliated by pulling Kim's hair, and commented that the magnolia flowers in Kim's hair would also fall out. Time passed, and Kim was tidying the hair of the heretical inquisitor, who was now acting as Lady Golden Plum in a flower garden. While combing the heretical inquisitor's hair, Kim wondered if this hair growth was related to her new skill or role. Kim asked, "Have you become a lot more expressive? Before, your smile felt empty. Now there's something different." The heretical inquisitor replied, "I feel different. Is this a good influence?" Kim thought it might be good and asked, "Why do you kill people?" "I'm curious why." The heretical inquisitor began to explain. "By activating the divine concealment technique, I can make anything disappear. Many people are afraid because of the hassle of hiding a corpse. I don't have that concern," he continued, describing the chaotic situation when the tower first appeared. Slavery, discrimination, terrorist attacks, and ideological conflicts. The 5 major guilds and several military groups realized the crisis and eventually negotiated. The heretical inquisitor demanded a special domain for each guild. That night, thousands of people were killed in the massacre. He continued, "The black sorcerer sat on top of a pile of corpses. Sword Saint felt guilty and resigned, while I felt no regret. It was a necessary sacrifice." The heretic inquisitor ended his story by saying, "Maybe this is because of the synchronization with Lady Golden Plum. I feel that if you, King of Death, had been there at that time, everything might have been different." Kim was surprised to hear that statement. The heretic inquisitor revealed, "Do all of you live with feelings like this? If I do something, will you be lost and continue living with those feelings?" "Servant, I want to stay in this world even more." Kim thought to himself, "I might not be able to kill someone who feels guilty." The heretic inquisitor explained, "My synchronization with Lady Golden Plum increased by 1% to 32%. It might be over 50% tomorrow. I am the main character in this story, but you're the ending. Save the ending of this story before I truly drown in Lady Golden Plum's charm." Kim replied, "All right, I promise." Kim stood in front of the door thinking. In the end, Raphael, Lady Silver Lily, is the key to resolving this prophecy. He knocked on the door and entered Raphael's study and found him busy with a pile of documents. Kim saluted. "Allow me to convey greetings from Lady Golden Plum to Lady Silver Lily." Raphael, who looked busy, ordered the servant to leave and take a rest. Now only Kim and Raphael remained in the room. Kim approached Raphael and asked about his health condition. Raphael explained, I really don't like it, but I'm still a student. I need a valid reason to skip class. Even though I'm not completely healthy, I can't be considered healthy either. Raphael continued. You attracted attention because you quickly noticed there was a spy among my subordinates. That's good news for the Empire. This is my 14th life cycle, even though I only repeat 10 days of my life each time. A system notification appears. The silver-coated heart is watching you. Raphael asked, how many life cycles have you had? It seems like this is your first time. Did the constellation that sent you not give any explanation? Kim looked confused. Raphael added, didn't the constellation that sent you tell you anything? Who do you serve? Kim answered, the head of the library sent me. Raphael recognized that name, Hamustra, and Kim wondered if that was the real name of the library head's constellation. Raphael then asked, Hamustra didn't tell you anything. Kim explained, the head of the library tried to avoid prophecy and asked us to look for information ourselves. It's true that this world will eventually be destroyed, but I won't lose my life that easily. He asked, did you become Lady Golden Plum's servant to target me? Kim shook his head. Raphael responded, don't ask me to call you by your real name. You're like a blank sheet of paper that doesn't know how things end. Kim was confused and asked, solution? Raphael gave Kim a piece of paper containing important information about himself. Raphael is weak against sunlight, likes food with strong flavors, is disgusted by lilies, and prefers to talk about politics and money. Raphael admitted that he got this information from a messenger who failed in his 6th cycle of life. Raphael expressed his disappointment towards people who approach him with methods or tutorials to win his heart. All of you underestimate the heart and feelings. To win my heart, you have to be honest and straightforward. Kim agreed, and Raphael added, in the end, we are in agreement. I'm interested in you because you see people as humans, not as animals. Kim confirmed, and Raphael asked, do you have any friends with animal-like behavior or someone close who says things like that? A system notification appears. A silver-coated heart is watching you. Kim thinks, he can see into my heart. I can't let him control the conversation. Kim tells Raphael that even though Raphael looks down on him because of his status as a servant, that doesn't make Raphael special. Raphael responds, says the naughty servant who caused chaos in the Empire. Let's get back to the main topic. What do you want? You didn't come just to steal my heart. A system notification appears. The silver-coated heart is suspicious of your intentions. Raphael says, I didn't think the secret of the stars sent you here just for a vacation. If you're lying, I won't open my heart. Answer honestly, no. Kim pondered. Why did I come to this world? Maybe because a fragment of my sword is here, but that would only give me a little extra power. He remembered the words of the Sword Emperor who said Kim had not yet experienced love. Kim then said to Raphael, I want to learn about love. This world is full of romantic stories, and I feel like this is the right place to understand love. I want to know what I've been missing. Raphael asked, so you want to learn about love from me? Kim replied, I want to understand love in this world and experience it. Raphael was surprised. Why don't you ask Lady Golden Plum to teach you? Kim explained, Lady Golden Plum doesn't know much about love. I'd rather learn from someone who truly understands. Raphael agreed that Lady Golden Plum doesn't really get it, but he still wanted a concrete reason. Kim explained that he wanted to understand how Raphael could be so loyal to the Emperor and the Empire, and if it was because of love, he wanted to feel it too. Raphael was surprised by Kim's answer. You want to understand love and me? That makes you seem foolish and fearless. He added, understanding someone is not an easy thing. It's different from responsibility. Kim asked the head librarian to stop anyone's broadcast. He explained that he wanted to speak directly with Raphael. With the system notification allowing it, Kim said, "I also came back from the dead. Unlike you, I came back a day after I died. I have the ability to see other people's trauma and memories." Raphael asked, "Trauma?" Kim explained, "I can see the wounds and hidden memories in someone's heart. It helps me understand them. But I'm afraid I'll become too dependent on this ability." Raphael commented that it's not real understanding. Kim added that he can't leave the people he cares about. Raphael reminded Kim that understanding someone's thoughts is easy, but the responsibility that comes with it is immense. Understanding others means being willing to walk through hell on your own 2 feet. A system notification appeared. The skip scene duration has ended. Everyone can see again. Finally, Raphael said to Kim, "All right, I will teach you about love." Raphael decided to teach Kim about love on the condition that Kim must be his special servant for a week. Kim, confused, asked what he meant, and Raphael explained that he could only teach about love by showing it directly. The next day, Kim visited Raphael's residence and found himself surrounded by female servants. Raphael then showed a board that read, "Lesson 1. Love begins when you meet a wicked woman." Raphael explained that love does not always begin with something ideal, but often with a difficult encounter and with someone who has flaws. Raphael explained that 99% of those you meet are wicked or will become so. And the first lesson is to understand that humans are often inconsistent. Kim asked if there wasn't a better way from the start, but Raphael explained that humans tend to forget and give up easily. If Kim truly wants to love, he must learn to remember and be determined. Raphael then took Kim to the Crown Prince's room, which was heavily guarded. With the key he had, Raphael unlocked the door and woke up the Crown Prince, who was still asleep. Raphael scolded the Crown Prince and reminded him that to lead the country, he must have a better attitude. Then, Raphael introduced the second lesson. If you can't avoid bad people, learn to enjoy it. Kim was confused, but Raphael explained that if Kim falls in love with someone evil, he should start learning to enjoy the experience. Raphael's servants then poured water on the Crown Prince to wake him up. Raphael explained that romantic relationships are often like war, and if you have to deal with someone evil, you should remember not to be too nice. Raphael then asked Kim to remember that a handsome man loses to a smart man, and a smart man loses to a jerk. Therefore, to reach the top of the hierarchy of love, someone has to be handsome, smart, and also a jerk. Before leaving the room, Raphael made sure the Crown Prince was well taken care of by the servants and reminded Kim to burn this lesson into his memory. Kim followed Raphael out of the room. Kim revealed that the aspects of love he learned were very different from what he had imagined. He hoped to see something more romantic. Raphael explained that love does involve both heart and logic, but often depends on luck. Finding true love is not easy and is influenced by a person's life experiences. In the cozy room, Raphael sat while Kim stood nearby. Raphael offered Kim a chance to make him feel his heart race, saying, "Try to make my heart beat faster." Kim, confused, asked how to do it. Raphael explained that Kim had to do something that made him happy, and asked Kim to think and show his effort. Kim, determined, approached Raphael and showed him the 3 skill cards given by the head librarian. He then destroyed the card in front of Raphael, hoping this could help complete the prophecy. Raphael was surprised, but couldn't hide that he was impressed. Then, Raphael took out a bottle of perfume and asked Kim to lean down a little. Gently, Raphael applied the white lily-scented perfume to Kim's ear while saying, "Good. There's something I want to say. I'm not responsible for what happens." Raphael revealed that the scent was very precious to him and expressed interest in how Kim revealed her secret without being asked. Raphael then rested his face on Kim's shoulder. Keep attending to me tonight. I'll also tell you a secret. Kim, feeling anxious, realized that his feelings were growing deeper. Outside Raphael's residence, Kim lay on the garden grass. He gazed at the sky with hope, as if he were dreaming about the future. The Sword Emperor, who looked annoyed, called Kim by various nicknames, from Mr. Loser to the King of Death. But Kim seemed not to listen. Lost in his thoughts, Kim imagined Raphael's sweet smile and admitted to himself, "I like her." He then asked the Sword Emperor about love. The Sword Emperor replied in a mocking tone that Kim seemed to have fallen in love with someone out of his league. Kim, in desperation, mentioned suicide and admitted that he couldn't stop thinking about Lady Raphael. The angry spirit of his sword, Sparkly, slammed the sword into Kim's head, hurting Kim and triggering more complaints about his confused feelings. Kim complained that he would not wash the back of his ear that was touched by Raphael, and asked the Sword Emperor to smell that part, to make sure it still smelled like white lilies. The Sword Emperor just snorted in annoyance. Kim, still love-struck, complained about how many times Raphael saved the world in his previous life, and expressed his desire to comment about love on the internet. The Sword Emperor felt frustrated with Kim's attitude, and admitted that he had already suspected Kim would behave like this when he fell in love. However, he gave some advice. Study the person you love, and when you're dating, make sure you're always in her sight. As a personal servant, Kim has an advantage, because even if he doesn't do anything, his position provides a bit of protection. Kim, anxiously, wonders how to save Lady Raphael, and how to make her happy, while realizing that this world will soon come to an end. The Sword Emperor, feeling guilty, tries to give his best advice. When the bell at the academy rings to signal the end of class, Kim says, "Today's class is over. Let's go meet the heretic inquisitor." Night falls at Raphael's residence. Raphael is known as the Lady of the Silver Lily. Kim follows Raphael into a room inside the residence. In the darkness, Raphael leads the way with a candle in his hand. "Consider this a gift because you felt love," said Raphael. "I will show you my secret." Kim, feeling uneasy, reveals that he was thinking about holding Raphael's hand. Arriving, Raphael stops, turns around, and holds his hand. "Have you been thinking about me all day?" asked Raphael. He moves closer, presses his body against Kim, and asks if Kim missed his touch and scent. Kim is nervous, but answers, "I thought about you all day, ma'am." Raphael approves of Kim's answer, but then starts to question Kim's position. He gently pulls Kim's tie, demanding honesty from Kim about how he sees him. Kim explains that he is a man from the outside world and is only borrowing this servant's body. But Raphael insists that he wants Kim to see him as more than just an object or a character. Kim feels pressured and recalls various important moments in his life, including the critical moments with the Fire Emperor and the Heavenly Demon. He feels that the burden he carries is too heavy to ignore. Kim finally tells Raphael that he can't see him as a master. "I want to learn about the beauty of love, but not if it makes me lose the meaning of my life. If you want my heart, you have to take a different approach," he said. He promised to put Raphael's wishes above his own, and to take his words seriously if Raphael would treat him the same way. Raphael let go of Kim's hand and said, "You really are different from those foolish messengers. I underestimated you." Kim picked up the fallen candle lamp and demanded to know the secret that Raphael wanted to show. Raphael took Kim to a dark room and pulled off the red cloth covering a large object. Behind the cloth, there was a large mirror with a red sword stuck in the middle, causing cracks all over the mirror. "This is our family heirloom," said Raphael, standing in front of the mirror. Meanwhile, a notification from Sparkly appeared to Kim, indicating the detection of her sister's presence. Raphael explained, "This is a family heirloom sword that can grant wishes, but there's a condition. The sword must be stabbed into the heart of the one making the wish." A notification from Sparkly revealed that this is a wish-granting sword, and her sister's energy has been detected. Raphael revealed, "In the past, I wished upon this sword so that you would love me. And that's why I've been living in this time loop." When Kim sensed that Raphael had no heart to give, Raphael asked Kim for help to end what they were doing. As the clock struck midnight, a red, blood-like liquid emerged from the mirror, forming a cage around them. Kim grew anxious and readied his sword. Raphael revealed that this was his nightmare and warned Kim not to let his guard down. The red liquid transformed into a pair of lips that spoke, accusing the Crown Prince of being evil and confessing its sincere love. "If someone is evil, and I can still love them, isn't that true love?" said the creature, mocking Raphael's relationship with the Crown Prince. The image from the red liquid showed the moment when Raphael and the Crown Prince were holding hands. The Crown Prince asked, "Raphael, will you marry me when we grow up?" Raphael answered, "I will, my prince." Kim, feeling angry, used the death sword technique from the heavenly demon god. His attack shattered the red liquid cage. The Sword Emperor commented on Kim's strength. Meanwhile, Kim asked Raphael about the special power that was just displayed. Raphael explained, "This power appeared when I stabbed my own heart. This world never had constellations to begin with. Or maybe the original constellations have been killed." Sword Emperor added, "It seems that the original constellations in this world were killed by the Constellation Slayer." Raphael explained to Kim that the demons are getting stronger every day, and their numbers are increasing. On the 10th day when this world was about to end, Raphael became the representative of this world, even though he didn't want to. The Emperor explained that the way Raphael became a constellation was very unusual. It was similar to the method of the demon sect. The sword embedded in the mirror was a fragment of a constellation that transformed its owner's body into something inhuman, trapping him in an endless cycle of time. Kim was surprised and sheathed his sword again. Raphael asked if Kim was disappointed, and Kim replied that even though Raphael showed the darkness in his heart, it didn't disappoint him. Kim said that true love is not about avoiding someone's dark side, but about accepting someone completely. Raphael said that the demon in the mirror is the result of disappointment and hatred. He admitted that he deliberately brought Kim back to overcome the illusion. Kim responded, "If you think this will make me leave, you're wrong. I love you not because you're perfect." Raphael hesitated. "You've only loved me for a day. Why should I believe you?" Kim explained that even though it's only been a day, his love is sincere. "I love you because of the way you live your life. I will make you fall in love with me, no matter how long it takes," he said. Raphael asked if Kim planned to repeat the same day forever. Kim replied that he wasn't afraid of that, because he had already experienced time loops many times. When Raphael asked what if he got tired of Kim, Kim held his hand and said that would never happen. The servants then came and informed them that Madame Golden Plum was raging in front of the gate. Kim was surprised to hear that. Moonlight illuminated the courtyard at Raphael's residence. The Silver Lily Lady, Madame Golden Plum, looked angry and shouted, "Servant, where are you?" Kim ran toward the source of the voice, followed by Raphael, who walked calmly. In front of the gate, the servants tried to calm Madame Golden Plum, who was trying to force her way in. Kim remembered that he had told the heretical inquisitor that he would work as a temporary servant to gather information and fulfill the prophecy. The heretical inquisitor, in a cheerful tone, agreed even though he felt uneasy. In front of the residence, the heretical inquisitor, shouting loudly, asked Kim to come home with him, considering Kim to be more than just a servant. He said that all the plants in this place are poisonous and reached out his hand, offering to take him home. Raphael, restraining the heretical inquisitor, said, "You have broken many rules here. Kneel and apologize." The heretical inquisitor replied, "If you want to whip me, then do it. I wonder how the Crown Prince will react when he sees those scars." The servants were shocked, but Raphael firmly asked them to bring the whip. Kim approached the heretical inquisitor and asked what had happened. The heretical inquisitor, now acting as Lady Golden Plum, explained that she would not let Raphael take what belonged to her. Kim was surprised to hear about this change. The servants returned with whips, and Raphael prepared to punish the heretical inquisitor for violating imperial law. The heretical inquisitor responded, "Sorry. The only thing is that the crown prince loves me. Is that my fault?" The crown prince hurried in with his men, embraced the heretical inquisitor, and angrily shouted at Raphael, "What are you doing to Sylvia?" Raphael explained that this is imperial punishment, and the law is more important than people. The crown prince said emotionally, "You always talk about the empire, but what have you contributed? All you do is bully Sylvia." Raphael looked sad and asked if the crown prince was going to get rid of him. The crown prince invited the heretical inquisitor to leave, saying, "Let's go, Sylvia. You're not allowed to be here." Then the heretical inquisitor glanced at Kim and said, "Servant, come with me." Kim, using his character reading ability, understood that the heretical inquisitor had now truly transformed into Lady Golden Plum, who would not let Raphael have anything. The heretical inquisitor again asked Kim to come with her by saying, "Servant, you're coming with me, right?" The heretical inquisitor urged Kim to go with her. Kim replied, "I plan to stay here with Lady Silver Lily for now." The heretical inquisitor, feeling insulted, asserted, "I don't like to show off my wounds, but I did it to free you from her grasp." Kim acknowledged the situation, but still refused the heretical inquisitor's invitation. A system notification appeared, informing Kim that he was synchronizing with his character. The heretical inquisitor was suspicious. "Are you sure it's not because of magic?" The heretical inquisitor warned Raphael that his relationship with Kim should not be destroyed. Raphael coldly asked him to leave. The heretical inquisitor then asked the crown prince to come with him, and they all left together with the servants. Kim stood watching them leave, while Raphael approached her and said, "You've done enough. Now go inside." Kim asked, "What do you want to do?" Raphael replied, "I want to look at the flowers and be alone. Everyone should go inside and rest." The Sword Emperor telepathically communicated with Kim, encouraging him to take advantage of this opportunity. Kim approached Raphael and asked, "You haven't slept for several days. Aren't you tired?" Raphael admitted his exhaustion and explained that this was his 14th time reliving his life. He was trying to guide the crown prince for the good of the country. Kim, with a smile, said, "You're not alone. As long as someone sees and understands your love, you can face any situation." Raphael explained, "I'm repeating the last 10 days of my life. When I die, I go back to 10 days before my death, while you go back to 1 day before your death. We are two parallel lines that will never meet." Raphael added, "Understanding your situation is one thing, but living together is impossible. What you said about spending time with me is beautiful, but maybe only because it could never be real." Kim approached Raphael and asked, "What if my words could become real?" Raphael replied coldly and said, "What if that doesn't exist in this world?" However, Kim remained persistent, offering help to free Raphael from the eternal 10-day cycle. Gently, Kim put his coat over Raphael's shoulders. Kim asked, "Please stay with me until this world ends, and I would be grateful if you could make me love you even more." In his heart, Kim realized that the heretical inquisitor had reached 100% synchronization to fulfill this prophecy. Kim asked Raphael to help him fall completely in love. Raphael touched Kim's cheek and said, "You're really shameless." "All right, I'll take responsibility for that." A system notification appeared, showing synchronization reached 44%. Raphael was surprised by Kim's sincerity, who admitted that dying repeatedly was a part of his life. Kim then asked, "Did your heart also beat faster after seeing my vulnerable side?" Raphael started to smile and commented, "Your teeth are so white." When Kim felt nervous and blushed, Raphael asked Kim, "Are you giving up?" Kim answered hesitantly, "Yes." Raphael smiled, stating that he wasn't afraid of being stuck in the repetition of life, even if it was just for a moment. He commented about the Crown Prince, saying that he wouldn't let himself continue to be treated unfairly. Kim was surprised when Raphael stated, "Starting today, I'll have an affair with you." Kim felt that an affair was not a form of romantic love. He asked, "Do you love me?" Raphael answered, "No." Raphael embraced Kim, asked to be called by his name, and Kim complied. Raphael said, "Do you remember what I taught you the first time I talked to you about love?" Kim then answered, "Love begins with meeting a jerk." Raphael promised, "I'll be that first jerk for you." The Sword Emperor commented, "Because they're both crazy, they're perfect for each other. Congratulations on your first love, even if it's just an affair." That morning, Kim got ready in front of the mirror, saying Raphael Ivanchia's name. The synchronization now reached 62%, and in his heart, he admitted that he was truly in love. Realizing that he wasn't consumed by the servant character, like what happened with the heretical inquisitor, Kim was confident that his plan could succeed in this round. Kim told the Sword Emperor about his concerns. If his synchronization reached 100%, he might completely lose control. He asked the Sword Emperor to stop him if the synchronization approached 99%. The Sword Emperor was surprised, but Kim still had his plan, intending to deliberately increase the synchronization. With full confidence and self-assurance, Kim went to meet Raphael. At his residence, Raphael looked weak and was coughing. Kim brought him tea and said, "You must be tired, fighting demons and facing the Crown Prince as well as Lady Golden Plum." Raphael calmly replied, "My life's always been like this since it first started repeating." As Raphael drank the tea made by Kim, he thanked him because the tea suited his taste. Kim explained that he was only following the instructions from the previous messenger, but he added, "I only used that as a reference. I want you to see it as something different." Raphael smiled slightly, realizing that Kim was indeed a bit mischievous. However, he doubted whether there was a way to end this time cycle. Kim gently replied, "Trust me. Even though we're not officially dating yet, you've chosen me." She knew Raphael had carried many burdens alone for 14 lifetimes. Kim wanted to be someone Raphael could rely on. Raphael asked, "Do you think I'm exhausted?" Kim replied, "That's right. Take a break for a while. I don't like seeing someone I love pushing himself too hard." She changed the flowers in Raphael's room, showing her intention to take care of him with love and affection. Even though their relationship was fake, Kim emphasized that he was serious. Raphael asked, "Aren't you offended?" Kim answered with a smile, "I'm optimistic. This is an opportunity, and I'm sure you'll love me in the end." As night fell, Raphael prepared with a sword to fight the creature that emerged from the mirror. However, Kim stopped him, asking him to rest. With full confidence, Kim said, "Leave everything to me." Kim entered the room and faced the creature that resembled Raphael. The creature asked, "Are you going to kill us? Do you want to kill me?" With strong determination, Kim managed to defeat the creature, showing that he was ready to take over Raphael's burden to protect him. That morning, Raphael was buried in a pile of documents on his desk, but Kim came and took them all. "Don't bother yourself with things like this," he said as he threw the documents into the fireplace. Kim was sure that if this empire could be destroyed just because of those documents, then let it be destroyed. In the afternoon, Kim and Raphael sat under a tree by the beautiful riverside. Raphael, sitting on Kim's lap, felt unfamiliar with a life without burdens. "It's been 3 days since I last went to the academy," he said worriedly. But Kim reassured him, "It's okay. I'll make everything all right." Although Raphael felt he didn't want to keep relying on Kim answered gently, "We just need to help each other." The days kept passing until the final evening arrived. They rowed a boat together on the river as the sun set. Golden light shone on the water. "Beautiful, isn't it?" asked Kim. Raphael nodded. "That's right. I don't remember the last time I saw something this beautiful." However, that peace was soon disturbed. The sky turned blood red, and meteors began to strike the city. People screamed in fear as they saw the sky full of holes. Amidst the chaos, Kim and Raphael remained calm on the boat. "I feel calm with you," said Raphael. Kim then looked at him and said, "From now on, I will envelop you with my aura." She channeled her aura into Raphael's body, holding his hand tightly. "There's only one way for us to be together forever. We have to die together." With determination, Kim held Raphael's hand and led him toward their final fate. "Raphael Ivansha, die with me." Kim thought to himself how he always planned his death the way people arranged their lives. He could have ended his life easily, but chose a more painful path to keep his mind clear. But today was different. He and Raphael would die together. When Phil looked at Kim, he felt a warmth flowing through his body. "I feel worried," he said. "I'm afraid of forgetting you." Kim reassured him, "Don't worry, I'll always be by your side." On the last day, a giant creature attacked. It took the form of Raphael with long hair, but it was blood red. They spread fear around the boat that Kim and Raphael were on. Raphael warned, "We must die together. If not, I will blame you." "All right," said Kim in agreement. Raphael then said, "Take responsibility. Answer, because you made me start trusting other people." Suddenly, 3 messengers from the Constellations appeared in the sky. Raphael commented, "They really can't read the room." And Kim replied, "We will teach them a lesson. Death awaits anyone who disturbs true love." Raphael said, "That sounds cool." Kim then activated the suicidal sword skill, the 9th art of the heavenly demon god. Instantly, Kim's aura changed. He destroyed both of their brains without pain, and they died together. A system notification appeared. "You have died," returning to 24 hours prior. Kim woke up on the grass. Meanwhile, Raphael was standing in the distance holding an umbrella. "Are you awake?" Raphael asked while looking at the river. "Servant, it seems you lied to me a little." Kim felt uneasy. He wondered if they managed to retain their memories in this repeated life. Raphael looked at Kim and said, "You promised you would always be by my side, but I returned 9 days before you. How could you leave your lover alone for that long?" Kim felt relieved to hear that, but Raphael continued, "You swore, but you failed to keep it. You have to make up for it." Kim hugged him tightly and apologized. Raphael comforted him. "You have to. Enough. I'm great at waiting, even though those 9 days were boring." Kim apologized again and looked into Raphael's eyes. "I need your help. Can you wait again? I will reduce 1 day every time I die, until we can be together from the very first day." Raphael smiled as he spoke. "You're greedy, asking me to die 9 more times." Kim asked, "Does it hurt you?" "Thank you. Thank you." Raphael answered playfully, "No, but you're mean." Kim then asked for permission to kiss him, and they committed suicide together again. The system displayed a notification. "You have died, returning to 24 hours ago." They woke up, kissed again, and died together again. This happened several times, with Raphael even making jokes about it. "You brushed your teeth, right?" Kim complained. "That's not fair," Raphael gently replied, after waiting 39 days. "I deserve to be a little selfish." In the next round, Heretic Inquisitor greeted Kim and told her that Raphael was waiting for her in the garden. Kim immediately went there, and again they kissed and committed suicide together. Finally, in yet another life, Kim woke up on the first of the 10 eternal days. At a banquet, he smiled at Raphael, and they walked toward each other, kissing in front of everyone who was shocked. "Is this our first day?" Kim asked. Raphael nodded. "That's right, forever." They kissed again. Heretic Inquisitor, who saw it, was just confused. Did I miss something? In the middle of the banquet, Kim and Raphael, who were kissing, attracted the guests' attention. Rumors started to spread. Even the Sword Emperor who had died complained, "Why do I have to see this?" The Crown Prince, confused, approached them and asked Raphael, "What are you doing?" Raphael apologized for the commotion and submitted a petition to resign from the academy as a form of punishment. "I will reflect on my actions and will not receive any guests," Raphael explained. The Crown Prince became even more confused. However, before he could say anything further, Raphael pulled Kim out of the banquet. On the way, Kim wondered if Raphael still loved the Crown Prince. But what mattered most to him was Raphael's happiness. Seeing him smile, Kim felt that everything would be all right. Behind them, Heretic Inquisitor chased after them in confusion. "Why are you two kissing? And why is my heart pounding when I see it?" Kim answered casually, "That's a heart attack. I want to see this prophecy through on my own. Consider this a vacation for you." Heretic Inquisitor, who was always cheerful, agreed even though she was a bit confused. Kim then gave an important message: don't kill, torture, or kidnap anyone. After that, Kim and Raphael boarded the train and left the academy. Raphael, who seemed to be thinking about the empire, predicted that tomorrow there would be 200 letters from the capital and another 20 letters from the noble groups. In the end, the emperor will send an envoy. Come up with a solution to this problem, Kim. Kim was surprised to hear his name called by Raphael. However, Raphael pretended not to hear and stared outside. Raphael then thought about the Sormewin Academy, a place where noble children were educated. That academy was merely a tool to strengthen the emperor's power. He said, criticizing a system that hides greed and arrogance behind manners. Raphael wondered if the Crown Prince realized all of this and envisioned a different future for the empire. Kim said to Raphael, "Don't worry about the empire right now. Just think about me." Raphael looked at him intently, moved closer, and held his hand. "If you leave a wound in my heart, I'll kill you." "Do you understand?" said Raphael. Kim nodded. "I understand. I won't hurt your heart, and if it happens out of ignorance, I will apologize." Raphael then stated, if Kim betrays him, he wants Kim to strangle him with his own hands, without aura, until their meeting disappears from the world's memory. "I will punish you with my death, and you must live knowing that I never forgave you." Raphael continued firmly. Kim agreed, affirming every word he said. Raphael continued, "If there's a secret that needs to be told, say it now." Kim revealed his abilities. "I have the ghost reincarnation skill. People who die by my hand can be revived, even with their appearance and memories." Raphael, realizing the consequences of that ability, added a condition. If Kim betrays him, he must destroy that skill. Kim, with all seriousness, agreed and apologized for telling him so late. Raphael smiled. "I forgive you, as long as you promise." Kim waited for him, and Raphael said, "Don't kill yourself without my permission. Don't just die. You are my lover. Fight until your last breath." Kim agreed to that request and added his own wish. "Trust me when I ask you to." Raphael answered with full confidence, "I will always trust you." Kim and Raphael decided to spend their vacation together without thinking about the kingdom's problems. Kim suggested 10 full days of freedom. Meanwhile, Raphael, with curiosity, asked if Kim wanted to experience life like ordinary people. Kim explained that with his ability to go back in time, no chaos would be remembered. Raphael laughed and called Kim his clever partner. They entered a theater building. There, Kim lavishly rented 6 theater troupes at once. Raphael, with his signature smile, asked for something unusual, a simultaneous performance by 6 groups, 3 tragedies, 2 comedies, and 1 opera. They enjoyed the chaos on stage. Then they continued their adventure to the casino, causing a commotion while having fun. Night fell, and they relaxed in their room. Raphael leaned against Kim's chest as Kim hugged him tightly. Kim asked, "Are you happy?" Raphael nodded, feeling for the first time that living longer might not be such a bad idea. Kim then explained about synchronizing with the servant role he played in this world, which increased every time Raphael called him by name or touched him. Raphael was interested, but Kim asked Raphael to only think about himself, as promised. The next day, they continued their adventure in the city. Kim, in a provocative tone, shouted that the road belonged to Lady Avanzia for a day. They continued to enjoy their freedom, even reporting the crown prince's misdeeds to the emperor, who looked shocked. In the afternoon, they sat near the fountain, handing out gold coins to the citizens, and chatted about what scoundrels they'd become, something only the 2 of them knew. The system then showed that their synchronization had reached 81%. Kim then reminded Raphael about the promise he once asked for, which was to always trust him. Raphael looked at him suspiciously, feeling that Kim was planning something. Kim admitted that he had to increase his synchronization up to 99%, even having to become a complete servant for reasons he couldn't reveal. Raphael, though confused, realized that this was part of Kim's plan that required his trust. Back on the first day, they repeated their adventure, leaving the crown prince confused at the banquet. In an empty room, Raphael closed the door and locked it, then asked what to do next. Kim calmly handed him a rope. She asked Raphael to tie her to the chair, which took Raphael by surprise. In the quiet room, Raphael held the rope and looked at Kim anxiously. "Honey, I think it's too soon to cross over to the afterlife," said Raphael. However, Kim calmly replied while sitting on the chair, "I love my life now. Don't worry." Even though he found it difficult, Raphael replied, keeping his promise to trust Kim, and began tying her hands to the chair. After feeling perfectly tied up, Kim praised Raphael, "You tied me up well." Meanwhile, the Sword Emperor, Sparkly, who felt uncomfortable, asked, "Hey zombie, what are you doing? You're making me uncomfortable." Kim reflected to himself on the complicated love stories around him. The servant who secretly liked both mistresses, the prince who liked the mistress and the servant, and Raphael who loved Kim and the prince. A tangled web of forbidden love. But this was part of his plan. The system then notified that Kim's synchronization with the servant character had reached 81%. Kim asked Raphael to bring a large mirror and place it in front of him. Kim looked at his own reflection. Then he used his character window skill. He made sure that he hadn't fully become the servant's true self yet. In a serious tone, Kim said to Raphael, "Start kissing me non-stop. Make me love you even more." Raphael frowned, then joked, "Is your fetish being kissed while tied up? You could have asked for it yesterday." Even though he was joking, Raphael stood in front of Kim and touched her cheek. Kim explained that if the synchronization keeps increasing, he will lose himself. To himself, Kim thought about the rogue inquisitor who was perfectly synchronized with Lady Golden Plum. However, his hair kept growing. This was part of Kim's secret plan to fulfill the prophecy. If my synchronization rate approaches 100%, please kill me with your own hands, said Kim firmly. He asked Raphael to end his life when the time comes. Raphael was shocked when Kim asked for something so extreme. To kill him if the synchronization reached 90 and approached 100%. Kim assured Raphael that they were on the right track because this was a tower system error that they had benefited from. Raphael was worried. This is very dangerous, like gambling, Kim explained. This is a gamble that we have already won. This system error benefits us. However, Raphael revealed, I won't be able to remember you. Kim answered confidently. No problem, I will find a way out. But if I can't leave this world, please go. Trust me, Kim said, then smiled at Raphael. Raphael agreed. I am your first follower, and you are the last. He held Kim's chin. Finally, I have a lover who is truly wicked. Then he kissed Kim. A system notification appeared. You have synchronized with the character. Your current synchronization is 84%. Synchronization increases as Raphael continues to kiss Kim. Kim thinks about the transformation of the heretical inquisitor into Lady Golden Plum. Why does the form remain the same? Although Lady Golden Plum does not have any special powers, her hair grows. This shows that synchronization does not erase someone's abilities. Synchronization reaches 88 as Raphael continues to kiss Kim. Then, an image of Kim's childhood appears. Sparkly sends a notification. Stop right now. Raphael asks, Are you okay? The Sword Emperor, panicking, telepathically asks Kim, What are you doing? Kim answers, Yes, I'm fine. Do it again. Raphael jokingly says, You want me to kiss you again? You're so naughty, my love. And then he continues kissing Kim. Kim says, Raphael, I love you. Even if I were born thousands of times, I would still love you. So please, make it so I can't forget you even if I die. Raphael replies while kissing, I know. Kim's vision started to blur. A system window appeared, but the information seemed unclear. Kim thought, My existence is starting to disappear. Raphael asked Kim, Are you okay? Kim, who woke up startled, said, My lady, did you kidnap me? This is too much. Kim, now as the servant, was surprised to see Raphael looking very emotional. Raphael expressed his pain. I thought I didn't have a heart anymore, but this clearly hurts me. Your sword has pierced my heart. Kim, confused, asked, What do you mean? Raphael explained while pulling out his sword. My beloved, come back to me. I will wait for you. Raphael stabbed his sword into Kim's chest and then kissed his lips. A system notification appeared. You have died, returning to 24 hours prior. However, the screen appeared blurry. The next notification sounded. Error. This problem is beyond the tower's control. The tower checks the authority of the King of Death and summons the 6 pillars of life for a vote. Kim returned to the previous room and saw the 6 pillars of life discussing in a language he couldn't understand. The system notification then translated their language. One of the pillars shouted, Call Hamustra. Why did he send this person as his envoy? Another pillar said, According to Parafjelder, there's nothing wrong. Kim stood anxiously as the pillar requested the tower system to revert the synchronization to level 0. A system notification appeared. Request confirmed, resetting the synchronization level of the King of Death. Kim's synchronization dropped to 0%, and he returned to his original self. One of the pillars asked, You deliberately used your regression skill after fully synchronizing with your character to go back 24 hours from your character's perspective. not your own. Kim then answered, "That's right. Send me back to the first day of the 10 eternal days." One of the pillars, angry and terrifying, threatened Kim. "I will kill you." Another pillar calmed him down. "Your dark emotions won't help." The calm pillar then said to Kim, "You are the king of death, right?" This is the second meeting with the same person. It's been a long time since we did this for Binda's killer. The pillar leader, a long-haired woman, appeared and explained, "With 100% synchronization, we can return you to the servant's point of view. With 90% to your own point of view. Now synchronization is at 99%. Which one should we choose?" He explained that the servant holds most of the control over the body, so authority should be given to him. The pillar leader asked about the resurrection skill. Kim replied, "That skill also belongs to the servant because he won it fairly. However, I still need it." The pillar leader agreed with Kim's argument and was impressed by his strategy. Another pillar commented that Kim had a strong sense of justice and a strong desire for revenge. The system notification showed that the pillar cursed Kim, while others blessed him. The pillar leader admired Kim's determination. "Your heart is warm, but your mind is cunning. You always seek a perfect victory." In front of Kim, a large figure shone with majesty. The pillar leader asked, "What logic will you use to convince us?" Kim explained, "We are not at fault. This mistake comes from the tower system. If the tower were perfect, this mistake would not have happened." The pillar leader agreed, but then asked, "Then what?" Kim continued, "Since we are victims of a system error, we ask for compensation and a reward for discovering this mistake." Kim reached out his hand, asking for something from the shining figure. Several pillars were angry, threatening Kim. "Watch your words, or you will be erased from the universe." However, the leader of the pillars stopped them. "Interesting. Because you are confident, we will give you compensation. Why should we do it if we can just fix the mess and ignore it?" Kim answered confidently, "You always wish us good fortune and never force us. You allow people who are suffering to stay in the tower and respect our freedom. Because of that, you will definitely give compensation. Thank you for creating the tower." Kim continued, "I always wanted to say thank you. Without the tower, I might have lived like trash. The tower gave me a second chance." He thanked again. "If it weren't for the tower, I wouldn't have regressed 4,000 days into the past. I feel like someone is watching over me. Thank you from the bottom of my heart." Kim saluted the pillar leader. One of the pillars responded, "You're my favorite. This is the first time I've seen a human express gratitude." The pillar leader said, "Your words are cute. I am a reflection of you. Tell me what compensation you want." Kim asked, "I want to go back 24 hours from a servant's perspective." The pillar leader asked about the reward, and Kim answered, "Raphael, the Lady of the Silver Lily. I want her memories to remain." The pillar leader offered, "We can strengthen the revival skill or ghost reincarnation. How about it?" Kim knelt down. "I don't need it. I just want to be with my lover." The pillar leader patted Kim's back. "May luck be with you." The system notification sounded. "Meeting with the 6 pillars of life. The meeting is over." Synchronization 99%. Returning to 24 hours prior. Kim is back in the world of prophecy at Sormewin Academy. As soon as he opens his eyes, Madame Golden Plum greets him. "Servant, you're finally awake. Your nap was quite long." Kim is now alive again from a servant's perspective. Confused, he asks, "Madam?" Madame Golden Plum just returned from dinner with the prince and saw Kim sleeping on the sofa. Even though it's supposed to be impolite to fall asleep before one's master, Madame Golden Plum decided to let him be, because Kim looked cute while sleeping. She then asked, "Did you have a nightmare?" The servant, still confused, asked about Madame Goldenplum's dinner. Madame Goldenplum happily explained that the prince gave her a blue gemstone ring in front of all the students. She was curious about Madame's reaction. Madame Silver Lily cried bitterly. When the servant arrived, he said, "Raphael." Madame Goldenplum was surprised and scolded the servant. "I think it's rude to call him by name like that." The servant felt dizzy and explained, "I don't know what happened, but it felt like someone was shouting in my ear." Madame Goldenplum offered help and told the servant to go to the doctor's office if needed. The servant, feeling confused, asked for permission to leave and walked away. Outside, Raphael's image appeared, revealing anger and sadness as the prince showed his relationship with Madame Goldenplum. Raphael recounted how he made a request to the family sword for eternal life. Back to the servant who was now in front of Raphael's residence, he felt confused by his own actions. Even though he felt he should go back, his body moved uncontrollably and entered Raphael's residence. When he opened the door to the study, Raphael greeted him with, "I've been waiting for you." Raphael took the servant to a large mirror pierced by a sword and said, "It seems like you're having trouble. I can see it clearly on your face." The servant was confused and asked, "Is this a dream? Why are you in my dream?" Raphael replied, "I have become your dream, and you have become my life. The alteration of your dream and life can be called love. If you're wondering why there are no servants here, it's because I told them all to leave." The servant felt confused and asked, "But why?" Raphael firmly warned, "Don't call me Mrs. Raphael. Otherwise, I'll rip your heart out." Raphael directed the servant to stand in front of the mirror and patted his back, asking, "What do you see?" The servant replied, "I see us standing side by side." When asked further, the servant felt dizzy and explained, "I see strange words and hear unclear voices." Raphael smiled. "You are receiving love. Tell me about that word." The servant said, "I see the word stare and love. Stare is like master, and love comes from lover." The servant explained that he couldn't remember clearly, but he remembered seeing Raphael with tears. He also felt a heartbreak that wasn't just caused by a sword wound. Raphael smiled and said, "That's because of past trauma. My mother committed suicide, and I still remember it clearly." Raphael approached the servant and placed his hand on her neck, explaining, "That memory is painful, including the memory of the prince and the proposal. Now, there's only one person who can break my heart." With determination, Raphael strangled the servant and said, "If you break my heart, I will kill you. Die and love me again." A system notification appeared. "You have died, reviving the trauma from the creature that killed you." The servant's identity underwent a penalty from the system for having the same abilities as the real Kim. During the system's trauma penalty, Kim was seen tied to a chair and said to Raphael, "I'm sure you know my plan. Lady Silver Lily, you're also a regressor, just like me." Raphael privately acknowledged Kim's plan to take advantage of the tower system's loophole and felt surprised by his cleverness. Raphael felt confused and sad. "This Kim is dangerous. I might forget you, and the memories with you mean everything to me." However, he still said to Kim, "I trust you. There's no reason not to trust." Kim assured Raphael, "I will solve this problem, no matter what happens." Raphael, although he trusted, was worried about memory loss and the trauma that Kim might leave behind. If she managed to return a day earlier, she might lose her memories of me, he thought. The servant then saw the moment before her death. As she was being strangled by Raphael, she said in surprise, "Oh my, madam, are you kidnapping me?" Raphael killed the servant and hugged her while saying, "Goodbye, my love. I will keep waiting for you." A system notification appeared. The target's ego remains intact. Penalty ended. Current synchronization level is 98%. The servant came back to life with tears in her eyes. Lady Golden Plum, who saw her, asked, "What's wrong? Why are you suddenly crying?" The servant said, "I have to go back to 24 hours before her death." The servant reminded Lady Golden Plum that the Crown Prince would give her a blue gemstone ring tomorrow. Lady Golden Plum was surprised and asked for an explanation, but the servant left her. The servant returned to Raphael's residence and met Raphael, who had been waiting for her. Raphael greeted her. "So you really did come?" He asked the servant to look at her reflection in the mirror and explained that he saw words like master and lovers, although not all of them were clear. Raphael then reminded the servant not to call him by an unwanted name and asked, "What dream did you have?" The servant explained a dream about herself being tied up and Raphael being sad as he stabbed her. Raphael praised the servant and showed a new skill, returning love, which allows regression in a relationship if both parties love each other. Raphael expressed his frustration and said that he would keep killing the servant until she came back to him. "Look at the wound in my heart and be sad," he said while choking the servant. A system notification appeared stating that the servant had died, and Raphael repeated this process over and over. Each death reduced Kim's character synchronization. After many deaths, Kim finally returned with 0 synchronization and regained his identity in that body. Kim thought to himself, "You were born as the legitimate daughter of a duke. You lived a miserable life because of your melancholic mother. You were already betrothed since you were born, and you have sacrificed your life for him every day since then." Lady Silver Lily, the noblewoman from the Evancia family. "I don't want to call you by that name. I don't want to call you by the same name that most people use." Kim enters Raphael's residence. Raphael seemed to have been waiting for Kim's arrival in a beautiful dress and said, "You finally came, my beloved." Kim called out to him, "Raphael." He said it with a happy smile. They hugged, sharing happiness and longing. Raphael said, "I've been waiting for you, my beloved Kim Gongongja." Kim hugged Raphael tightly and said with deep emotion, "I'm sorry. Thank you." In his heart, Kim expressed gratitude and apologized for the hurt he had caused. Kim then held Raphael's shoulders, looked into his eyes with confidence, and said, "Marry me." Raphael smiled sweetly. As they lay together, Raphael praised Kim for his ability to transfer memories and convince the tower. Kim admitted that he didn't fully remember the process. However, Raphael still admired him. Kim asked when they would get married, and Raphael explained that he first had to break off his engagement with the Crown Prince. Raphael wanted their marriage to be officially recognized and was ready to face difficulties. He even threatened to kill those who did not agree. Kim asked Raphael to officially break off the engagement so that everyone would know that the Crown Prince was at fault. Raphael agreed and explained his plan to use documents and witnesses to issue a statement ending the engagement without having to go through court. Raphael explained that if they got married, Kim would become a member of the Evancia family and would be given an appropriate title. Kim didn't mind and even tried calling Raphael matriarch to test his lover. After laughing and hugging, Kim reflected on Raphael's heart and his role in preventing the destruction of the world. Even though the constellation problem had been resolved, the threat from external entities still remained, and the prophecy was not yet completely fulfilled. In his office, Raphael told Kim that their wedding ceremony was scheduled for 1 month from now. Kim realized that it had been 10 days since her arrival and wondered about Raphael's courage. Raphael explained that day was also the day when this world would end and they would start a new life from that point on. Raphael revealed the difficulties he faced. First, breaking off her engagement with the Crown Prince, and second, inheriting her father's position as Duke. Raphael admitted that as the head of the family, marrying Kim would be a challenge. especially considering the noble's disapproval of marrying a commoner. Kim asked about the difficulties of inheriting a noble position. Raphael showed the letter he had sealed and explained that as Raphael Ivancia, he had the right to the position. With evidence of the crown prince's affair, he was confident the emperor would support him. Kim was worried about using the family's weakness. Raphael emphasized that he understood Kim did not want to return to the empire, but she had to realize the importance of politics and her role as the husband of a noblewoman. Kim agreed and understood that politics and loyalty must be handled wisely. Raphael then confessed his love. Meanwhile, the Sword Emperor who witnessed the scene felt disgusted, and Sparkly confidently mentioned the Sword Emperor's name as the cause. In a garden, Kim was pouring tea for Madame Golden Plum when he revealed that he would be getting married soon. Madame Golden Plum was shocked and spat tea onto Kim's face. Panicked and in disbelief, Kim confirmed that the wedding date had been set for a month from now, and added that his future wife was Madame Raphael Ivancia. Madame Golden Plum initially thought it was a joke, but Kim handed her documents that she had to sign. The document stated that Kim would leave his position to become Raphael's partner. The surprised and joking Madame Golden Plum eventually signed the document. The next day, Kim brought Raphael so Raphael could introduce himself to Madame Golden Plum. Raphael revealed his identity as the heir of the Ivancia family and handed over the wedding invitation. Madame Golden Plum, still in shock, read the invitation and felt surprised. Raphael and Kim left the place, with Kim apologizing because she wasn't used to calling Raphael by the title of head of the family. Raphael considered it a cute flaw and expressed his love. At Raphael's residence, Kim was introduced to the servants and nobles who welcomed her respectfully. Raphael explained that he is now the head of the family and plans to adopt Kim into the Chamberlain imperial family. Kim expressed her desire to be with Raphael and kissed his hand. Suddenly, Madame Golden Plum reappeared in anger, feeling deceived by the document she considered a joke. She slammed the door as she left, and from the closed door, the heretic inquisitor appeared with a cheerful smile, claiming himself to be the main character of the prophecy. That day turned out to be the first of the 10 eternal days, and the day when the hunters from the tower were sent into the story world in the prophecy. The heretic inquisitor warned Kim that the secret of the stars and the other world would destroy the world in 10 days. Kim, sitting calmly on the sofa with Raphael, instructed the heretic inquisitor to prepare for the holy war. To himself, Kim thought about the heretic inquisitor, a first-generation hunter who had calmed the tower with blood and brought peace to a chaotic beginning. The heretic inquisitor then activated his ability, projecting a map of the galaxy in front of them. He explained that laws like physics are the foundation of all reality, like the Windows operating system on a computer. These laws also apply in other worlds. He added that weapons like pistols and nuclear bombs, if the technical requirements are met, could appear in other worlds. These weapons can defeat many constellations and their envoys. Raphael asked whether physical energy is also split at a fundamental level. The heretic inquisitor replied that physical attacks are effective, but it depends on how well the laws of physics are applied to them. Sword Emperor telepathically communicated with Kim, confirming that the heretic inquisitor's explanation made sense. He also explained how constellations can free themselves from the laws of physics. The heretic inquisitor continued, explaining that constellations have their own laws, which are different from the laws of physics. Raphael observed the map, understanding that even though constellations follow the laws of physics, they are not completely bound by them. Kim asked for an example of such a law. The heretic inquisitor mentioned a constellation named Babbitt, the god of love, who interprets everything as romance. In Babbitt's domain, human strength is measured by their romantic abilities. To demonstrate, the heretic inquisitor activated the god of love's skill, surrounding Kim and Raphael with heart-shaped clouds. Kim accidentally bumped into Raphael's chest and fell to the floor. Raphael, embarrassed, said, "You're such a pervert, my love." Kim, panicking, asked the heretic inquisitor about this situation. The heretic inquisitor explained that in Babbitt's domain, everything ends up in romance. For example, when someone falls, they will always fall onto someone of the opposite sex. This is a domain mechanism that turns the interpretation of the world into a story. Kim asked how to prepare for the war that's coming in 10 days. The heretical inquisitor needs to know the name of the upcoming constellation. Kim gave the nicknames: the cow that reaps destruction, the war horse of the eternal plains, and the missionary of everlasting happiness. The heretical inquisitor uses his skill to search for information about the constellation. He explained that the cow that reaps destruction controls destruction and construction, is able to destroy and rebuild physical structures, and can manipulate time. The war horse of the eternal plains is the nickname for Mahos, who controls duels and wars, and can also enforce peace. However, he could not find any information about the missionary of eternal happiness. Kim thought that the less well-known constellations might be weaker. Raphael concluded that they were facing 3 types of enemies that were becoming increasingly complicated because the envoys could only borrow a small amount of the constellation's power based on their divinity. The heretical inquisitor added that by knowing the true name of the constellation, he could borrow the power of the god, and together they could find a way to fight back. He tried to reassure himself while smiling at Raphael. Suddenly, the heretical inquisitor felt numbness in part of his heart and received a message that the synchronization rate had increased. Kim explained that it was a heart attack and warned about the synchronization rate. The love that Kim mentioned was different from its usual meaning. The heretical inquisitor was confused, but Kim called it their secret weapon. Meanwhile, Kim and Raphael smiled. Raphael revealed to the heretical inquisitor that as an important figure, he could deploy special imperial troops to protect the wedding, including the imperial special forces led by a captain from the imperial chamberlain family. The heretical inquisitor asked about the strength of the troops, and Raphael explained that they were very powerful, thanks to their captain who was a member of the imperial family. Kim, who was observing, telepathically communicated with the Sword Emperor, asking about the danger of the coming constellation. The Sword Emperor explained that their strength was 1.5 times the power of the demon chariot on the 12th floor, and that this constellation was much stronger than its envoy. The Sword Emperor warned that although there was no need to worry too much, Kim should come up with a plan and improve his fighting skills, so he wouldn't remain a Class D hunter forever. The wedding day arrived. It was the 10th day of the 10 eternal days. At Raphael's castle, Kim was being dressed up by a maid who praised his appearance. Kim felt uncomfortable and asked the maid not to overdo it, but they insisted that he had to be the most handsome groom in the empire. Kim felt a sense of déjà vu, recalling when the dark wizard asked him to do a photo shoot on the 1st floor. After being dressed up, an old man who had become Kim's adoptive father greeted him respectfully and said that he was the one who would retire after the wedding party. He also mentioned that Lady Evancia was very kind to him. To himself, Kim wondered how hard Raphael had worked for these preparations. Kim's adoptive father warned that the wedding security might not go smoothly, indicating that something was wrong. Suddenly, the sky turned red, and 3 envoys from the star generation appeared, breaking through the sky and attacking. The invited guests panicked. Raphael immediately ordered everyone to follow his commands, organizing an evacuation and preparing defenses with the Divine Dragon Unit and the Blue Lion Knights. Kim's adoptive father, as the captain of the Imperial Special Forces, also ordered his troops to gather and defend the location. The heretical inquisitor, while analyzing the enemy's abilities, reported that one of the envoys, a large woman with a hammer, caused massive destruction when she struck the ground, creating terrifying cracks. The woman shouted, "Raphael Evancia, you won't get anything." It turned out that the terrifying attacker was the real Lady Golden Plum, not the heretical inquisitor who possessed her body. The invited guests were shocked when they learned the true identity. The heretical inquisitor explained that Lady Golden Plum had sold her soul to the envoy of the constellation, gaining power at the cost of everything. With a large hammer, Lady Golden Plum attacked the guests and the Imperial troops, killing them easily. The heretical inquisitor warned that her body is now resistant to physical attacks and can only be destroyed by an attack powerful enough to shatter a mountain. Lady Golden Plum called upon the blessings of the constellations, released an aura like iron armor, and shouted for more power. Kim's adoptive father expressed his despair, while the heretical inquisitor reminded them that they would die if they couldn't fight back. Another envoy of the constellations appeared, riding a horse and clad in iron, commanded thousands of winged troops to attack. The Imperial troops lost their morale upon seeing the vast number of enemy forces, and some suggested fleeing. The envoy directed the troops to attack. The assault caused panic and chaos among the invited guests and the Imperial troops. The heretical inquisitor explained that this envoy activated a blessing, a holy battlefield, which awakened the elite spirits of knights from the past. When the third constellation envoy appeared, in the form of a toddler singing a soothing song, they used a mental attack that forced the victims to recall their fondest memories, causing even more chaos. Raphael was frustrated and felt they didn't stand a chance against them. Kim felt pressured and asked the heretical inquisitor about the abilities of the constellation envoy. The heretical inquisitor begged Kim to face this situation. Meanwhile, Kim felt pressured hearing the request. Amidst the chaos, Raphael expressed his support for Kim, praised his appearance in a tuxedo, and Kim held Raphael's hand, determined to fight until the end. As Lady Golden Plum prepared to attack them, Kim begged Raphael to kill him if necessary. The two of them embraced each other, ready to face death together. Kim woke up in the bed at Raphael's residence, but this time he would not face death alone. He was accompanied by Raphael, who smiled at him. In his heart, Kim felt invincible as long as they were together. Kim then said to Raphael, "Let's make a plan." A flashback to the story of Madame Golden Plum. Madame Golden Plum prayed to the gods. She said, "Gods, please help me." Madame Golden Plum prayed, and her prayer was answered. A servant who was by Madame Golden Plum's side also prayed, and her prayer was also answered. Kim and Raphael, after coming back to life 24 hours after their deaths, gathered in a room to make a plan to face the threat of the constellation envoy. Raphael suggested changing the arrangements in the wedding hall to deal with any possible attacks. Special forces will be stationed in the mapped areas, and royal guards as well as soldiers from his family will be placed on the west side. "We have to use our authority as the bride and groom to move the guests," said Raphael. The heretical inquisitor explained that if there were any envoys with mental attacks, they would need to reduce the number of guests. However, Raphael was worried that reducing the number of guests would overwhelm them with the large number of envoys. "If we invite more guests, we will be vulnerable to mental attacks. If we reduce the number, we will be overwhelmed by their forces," Raphael explained. Kim offered his solution with certain conditions. He asked for permission to wear black clothes, which are usually only worn by the family heir after marriage. Raphael agreed after hearing Kim's reasoning, considering appearance more important than tradition. On the wedding day, Kim stood next to his adoptive father. Kim's adoptive father commented on the seating arrangement, saying it looked like preparations for a battle. Kim explained that he wanted to be ready in case any commotion occurred. His adoptive father, who was also a special forces commander, promised to stay alert. Among the invited guests, a rumor was spreading about the possibility of chaos from a dissident group opposing the wedding. One of the nobles even brought a personal bodyguard out of anxiety. The sky suddenly turned red and split open, revealing 3 bright lights that shocked the invited guests. A system notification sounded. An envoy from the constellation of the Ox that harvests destruction manifested itself. The envoy in an iron cloak and wielding a large hammer descended from the sky, followed by 2 other constellation envoys. Kim's adoptive father, who was also the commander of the Special Forces, drew his sword and shouted, "They're here. Don't be afraid." The nobles grew restless and wondered what was happening. Kim and the heretic inquisitor immediately ran toward the three constellations. "Get on my back, heretic inquisitor," shouted Kim. With the power of the teleportation god, they arrived behind Lady Golden Plum. Kim attacked with his shining sword. However, Lady Golden Plum managed to block with her hammer, and Kim was thrown back. Kim asked the heretic inquisitor to use the teleportation technique once again. They returned to a position behind Lady Golden Plum. This time, Kim managed to injure Lady Golden Plum even though she tried to block the attack with her protective aura. Lady Golden Plum was angry and shouted, "Your cheap tricks are useless. My body is invulnerable. The Ox constellation gives me an invulnerable body." Kim replied, "You sold your soul just for invulnerability. There are many people more disgusting than you." Madame Golden Plum threatened to kill Raphael and take everything away. Kim attacked again with a black sword shrouded in a dark aura, using his ability to make his opponent suffer without a face. Madame Golden Plum, named Sylvia Evanair, felt confident but ended up injured and fell hard to the ground. Meanwhile, Sylvia screamed for help from the other constellation envoy. The envoy of the Warhorse constellation from the Eternal Plains raised a flag and summoned an army of knights in black iron cloaks riding winged horses. Kim realized that this envoy's abilities covered a wide area and could revive the dead in their prime condition. Raphael put a black cloak on Kim, who thanked him and was determined to maintain his appearance. Raphael gave his blessing, and Kim activated the Ghost Reincarnation skill, resurrecting the demon sect army. The 4 demon kings and a giant figure, Preta, reappeared in their strongest forms, thanks to the Holy Battlefield skill and Kim's influence. After resurrecting the demon sect army, the demons knelt enthusiastically, responding, "We heed the vice chairman's orders." The Hell Ghost Demon King, in a sarcastic tone, said, "You look handsome. It seems like you're about to get married." Kim replied, "I really am getting married." This statement shocked all the members of the demon sect. They panicked and became excited upon learning that the vice chairman was getting married. The 4 demon sect commanders approached Kim and asked about his bride. Kim pointed toward Raphael, who was leading the imperial troops. "Yes," said Kim. The demon commander commented on Raphael's beauty, while the sword demon asked about her martial arts skills. Kim replied that Raphael did not know martial arts. The demon commander was pessimistic about this marriage, but Kim added that Raphael had the 2nd highest noble rank in the country. Upon arrival, the expressions of the 4 commanders turned optimistic. They realized that noble rank was still comparable to strength. The giant Preta appeared and asked, "My lord, are you getting married?" Kim answered casually, "Yes." Preta was surprised and asked if there was someone who wanted to marry Kim. Kim confirmed, "There is, but focus on the war." Kim continued speaking to his troops. They are envoys of constellations from another world who are invading this world to conquer it. They are also the ones who tried to destroy this wedding ceremony. The expressions of his troops turned serious and furious as they stared at the sky where the troops of the Warhorse constellation envoy from the Eternal Plains were floating and preparing to attack. Furiously, one of the demon generals named Moonshadow Demon spoke while releasing a powerful aura. How dare they disrupt the wedding of the vice leader of the demon sect? Behind him, his troops also prepared for battle while releasing their auras. Sword Demon and his troops released their auras and weapons while saying, "They must have lost their minds." Sword Demon spoke with a grin. Preta also drew his large sword and said to Kim, "I understand the situation now. At first, I thought we got our powers back because you reached a new level of strength. But it seems this is a blessing from their constellation." Kim then replied, "That's right." Preta asked Kim, "Which constellation does that boy serve?" Kim answered, Mahos, the warhorse constellation from the eternal plains. Preta commented, his followers are just fools who only know about war. Preta, now in the form of a giant black figure with a large sword, prepared to swing his sword while saying to Kim, give me your command. Kim said confidently, kill them. With a very powerful aura, Preta attacked the envoy troops of the warhorse constellation from the eternal plains who were floating in the air. His attack injured many enemy soldiers. Shocked, the envoy of the constellation asked, is that a constellation? How could someone who is not a constellation command a constellation? Preta, along with the entire demon sect army, led by the 4 demon sect generals, enthusiastically attacked the army of the envoy of the warhorse constellation from the eternal plains. They shouted, attack them! One of the demon generals, namely the Moonshadow demon, easily defeated the army of the flying horse. He also shouted, they are weak. They don't even deserve to hear our beliefs. The Hell Ghost demon general grinned in the middle of the battle and said, how dare you weak bastards mess up the vice chairman's wedding? Behind him, his troops could be seen fighting against the flying horse riders. The sword demon general beheaded one of his opponent's knights while saying, the head severed in this place will be wedding gifts for the vice chairman. If you bring back fewer than 5 heads, I'll kill you myself. He said this enthusiastically while laughing. The Blood Ghost demon general seemed to kill his opponent easily and calmly while saying, this is why you shouldn't mess with people from the demon sect. The envoy of the warhorse constellation from the eternal plains tried to calm his troops and encourage them by saying, don't be afraid, soldiers. Follow the orders of your group leader. He said this while raising the flag in his hand, high above his head. However, it turned out that the sword demon commander landed on the flag he was holding, grinning at him. The sword demon commander said, you're the bastard who messed up the vice leader's wedding, aren't you? The sword demon commander then charged at the envoy from the constellation, shouting, you bastard, just die! The envoy of the warhorse constellation from the eternal plains looked shocked and overwhelmed. In just a few moves, the sword demon commander managed to behead the envoy of the warhorse constellation from the eternal plains, which was then followed by cheers from the members of the demon sect's army. With great enthusiasm, the sword demon commander stood over his victim and shouted to his troops, did you all see that? I am the sword demon, commander of the demon sect's extermination army. The extermination army has given our leader the best wedding gift. The sword demon commander's shout made the other demon commanders jealous. One of the demon commanders commented, why does it have to be that idiot? However, the system notified that the envoy of the constellation has been destroyed, and the effect of the holy battlefield skill has ended. Yellow lights scattered, and the demon sect troops lost their strength. The envoy of the eternal missionary constellation appeared, bringing joy with a child singing a mental attack song. Preta, returning to his human form, couldn't withstand the mental assault and groaned. He was supposed to be of help, but he was useless. They all fell unconscious. The heretic inquisitor tried to create a safe area, but Kim, seeing that Raphael was unaffected, felt sure they were fine. The heretic inquisitor realized that and asked about Kim's power. Kim smiled and explained that he felt happy today. Holding Raphael's hand, Kim revealed, today is my wedding day. He considered the reason for happiness to be more valuable than many reasons to be sad. The heretical inquisitor cheerfully used a teleportation skill to move Kim closer to the eternal missionary. Kim, ready with his sword, attacked and defeated the envoy of the constellation. A system notification appeared, announcing that the envoy of the eternal missionary had disappeared. The only one left now was Lady Golden Plum, lying on the ground in pain, while Kim approached her with a sharp gaze. Lady Golden Plum groaned in pain while calling upon the constellation that gave her strength. Kim stepped closer, making Lady Golden Plum frightened. She sat down and backed away, screaming, I will offer myself as the price. I excel at destruction. However, there was no response from the constellation. Frustrated, Lady Golden Plum accused, "This isn't what we agreed on. Why is there no power to create a new destiny?" The heretic inquisitor approached Kim, and Lady Golden Plum shouted angrily, "Why is the psychopath's path in my body? Give me back my body." The heretic inquisitor explained, "You misunderstood. I'm a man, and you should speak politely." Lady Golden Plum looked very angry, pounding the ground, and said, "This is all wrong. I should have been more than Raphael." Kim attacked Lady Golden Plum with his sword, and she was surprised and tried to block it with her hammer. However, Kim's sword, which was black, caused excruciating pain. Lady Golden Plum's large hammer fell. Kim said, "Choose. You have lost your place in this world. You are no longer Lady Golden Plum, just a messenger of the constellation. If you want to remain a puppet of the constellation, I won't pursue you. However, if you still have a desire for this world, reject the constellation's blessing and die by my sword." Lady Golden Plum hesitated and asked, "Why me?" Kim explained, "I can bring back those who have died, including you, with their memories from before death. If you surrender, I will revive you as Lady Golden Plum again, without harming my wife. You can even marry the crown prince if you want." Lady Golden Plum asked, "How can I trust you?" "What if you only revive me as a slave?" Kim replied. "Think about it. Consider why you and your servant were chosen to be possessed by us." Lady Golden Plum asked, "Why was my servant's position vacant?" Kim explained, "I was once your servant. I know he truly loves you. You will not be happy as an empress because you are pursuing power, not love." Lady Golden Plum was surprised. "What do you mean?" Kim continued. "Throughout his life, your servant sacrificed himself to save you. He wanted you to be happy, not to seek happiness for himself. Maybe he has completely disappeared from this world." Madame Golden Plum was confused. "So, my servant is gone." Kim thought to himself, "This world has repeated 3 times. First, by Sylvia Evenair, who became the Empress. Second, by the servant who sacrificed himself to turn back time for Madame Golden Plum. And lastly, by Raphael, who made this world repeat by stabbing his own heart." Kim said to Madame Golden Plum, "We will never know the servant's name again. But it's clear he wanted a better life for you. Live as he wanted you to." Madame Golden Plum cried and said, "All right." Kim then swung his sword and killed her. The system announced, "Floor challenge completed. Floor 25 has been cleared." Those who were lying down due to the mental attack slowly got up. The system announced again, "Contribution information for clearing the floor. First place is the Death King, and second is the Heretic Inquisitor." Kim and Raphael are holding hands. Raphael announced to the newly conscious guests, "He is my husband, the spouse of the noble house of Ivancia. Is there anyone who opposes this marriage?" No one responds. Raphael continued, "With this, I declare that Kim Gongja and I are husband and wife." Suddenly, a loud scream was heard. "Death King!" Kim and Raphael turned, seeing a black mage who had just teleported into their world. Nervously, the black mage complained, "Why was this wedding held without consultation? This wedding should be held on the first floor of Babylon City and broadcast live to the whole world. This is not valid." Kim and Raphael could only stand there in shock. Sword Saint appeared behind the black mage, congratulated them on clearing the floor, and called their marriage a whirlwind romance. However, he was immediately stopped by the paladin who said, "Don't, Death King. I've always supported you. I'll calm the black mage down. Leave it to me." Kim felt confused by the paladin's reaction. Raphael commented, "Kim Gongja, it seems like there are a lot of people you need to introduce to me." The leaders of the major groups and Sword Saint gathered in front of them. Kim whispered to Raphael, So, this is part of the wedding. Raphael explained that their marriage united two worlds, not just families. Kim and Raphael sat on a long sofa with the Special Forces commander, Kim's adoptive father, as well as Sword Saint and the other guild leaders around them. Kim's adoptive father expressed his surprise. Meanwhile, the Black Mage stated that this was a good meeting, even though it was unexpected. He added that it's important for both worlds to understand each other, even if it takes time. Kim felt worried about the difficult relationship, but he felt that they had started off well. He then whispered to Raphael, "There's someone I want to introduce to you." Raphael asked for a moment to meet some of his husband's acquaintances, and they left the room for that. Under the bright moonlight, Kim and Raphael entered the crowd and were warmly greeted by the drunken sword demon commander. The commander offered them a bottle while congratulating them, followed by respectful nods from the members of the demon sect. They all raised a toast to Kim and Raphael, celebrating their wedding. Kim called over the sword demon commander to introduce him to Raphael, explaining that this commander is one of the 4 demon kings chosen by Master Kim. Raphael observed and praised the humility of the sword demon commander. They then got acquainted with the other demon commanders and Preta, a monster who became a demon king and was eventually recruited by Kim. Kim also introduced his sword, known as Sparkly, and explained the origin of the name. Raphael then suggested a new name, Radian, and the two of them talked about the sword. Kim also mentioned the Sword Emperor, a sword master who is very precious to him, and Raphael expressed his gratitude for the support. Kim and Raphael then danced under the moonlight. Raphael suggested that Kim dance, even though Kim felt awkward because he had never danced before. They took off their shoes to dance barefoot. During the dance, Kim stepped on Raphael's feet several times, but Raphael found it funny and responded by stepping on Kim's feet. In his heart, Kim felt that their dance was more than just movements. It was a symbol of their togetherness and resilience. Even though they faced difficulties, they relied on each other and believed in a better future together. 2 weeks after the wedding reception, Kim and Raphael were in the bedroom, examining a red sword lying on the bed. Kim asked Raphael about the sword, which turned out to be the sword that pierced his heart and plunged the world into emptiness for 10 days. Kim drew his sword, Sparkly, and directed his sword's aura at the red sword. There was resistance from the red sword, which turned out to be the prayer sword. A system notification appeared, showing Sparkly's attempt to persuade his sister. The prayer sword, which would not accept anyone except Lafanta Aigim as its master. Kim explained to the prayer sword that he was beginning to understand Lafanta's motives, who might have killed the Constellations to avoid the chaos they would cause. However, Kim also criticized Lafanta's actions for leaving behind new problems. Kim emphasized the importance of taking responsibility for one's mistakes, although he admitted that the sword once relied on Lafanta's noble intentions. The prayer sword finally acknowledged Kim's desire to take responsibility and not run away from problems. With relief, the prayer sword said that it would bless Kim's good intentions and unite itself with Sparkly. The system notification confirmed that the presence of the goddess of protection was becoming clearer. After an intense battle, Kim knelt down weakly, assisted by Raphael, who was full of concern. "Is it over?" Raphael asked. Kim answered weakly. "Yes." Raphael reassured Kim. "This world has been attacked by 3 envoys from the Constellations and still failed. No constellation would dare to invade again after seeing your power." In his heart, Kim said, "This is the ending I got." He said to Raphael, "I will go to the next floor now." Raphael looked sad. "Half of me wants to follow you to the new world, but I also have my own duty. Stay strong, my husband." She held Kim's hand. "If you are tired and want to be pampered, come back. I will always be here." Kim asked for permission to build a house on the 2nd floor of the 20 towers that now belong to him. "If you don't mind, I want to build a house for the 2 of us," he said. Raphael smiled. "All right, that will be our home at our next meeting." When I'm there, I'm not a noble of Ivancia, just your wife. I'm looking forward to it. Raphael handed a handkerchief to Kim. This is a handkerchief I often carry, with the scent of my perfume. Use this when you need comfort. Don't grip your sword hilt anymore. Kim inhaled the scent of the handkerchief, which brought back memories of white lily perfume. Raphael asked Kim to promise that their memories and love would keep him true to himself. Kim promised with a smile. Of course I promise. I love you. They hugged, and Kim teleported out of that world. In the Library of All Knowledge, Kim was greeted by the Black Wizard who said, "Welcome back, King of Death. Please, have a seat. There's something I need to talk to you about." Kim was confused. "Why are you acting like this? King of Death, you are too successful." Kim was surprised. The heretical inquisitor continued, "The prophecy in your heavenly demon story shows the holy love between the female master and her disciple. This caused many martial artists to come to the tower. Thousands of people every day." Paladin added, "Someone from the first floor recorded your actions and spread them. We allowed it because the publicity around your success was very effective." The noblewoman revealed, "We didn't realize how great your influence was. You became an icon." The heretical inquisitor showed the number 113,000. 113,654 people entered the tower yesterday. Kim was surprised. That many? The heretical inquisitor explained, "Before, we only got that number when there was a major war or the destruction of a country. Now, even though there is no major conflict, many people are joining." The noblewoman showed a brochure with Kim's face on it. "This is the brochure circulating outside the tower, inviting people to join." The inquisitor said, "We didn't do this. This is an initiative from outsiders." The paladin added, "Brochures like this attract refugees and people from developing countries. They leave their old lives behind to join us." Viper added, "Some even wear black clothes, as if joining a demon cult. All of this is because of you." The black sorcerer continued, "Not only ordinary people, but also scholars and famous scientists. They want to create a new order in the tower with us." The black sorcerer showed Kim's ranking, which is now in second place after the Sword Saint. Kim was surprised. The black sorcerer asked, "How about it? King of Death, are you ready to become our king?" Kim, confused, replied, "You must be joking." The black sorcerer explained, "We can't directly change the power structure of the tower into a monarchy system. What we want to do is our own brand of anarchist idealism. You will be a king only symbolically." The paladin added, "You have great power that influences this world. Your name alone can attract 100,000 people in a single day. We have land and trade routes to accommodate them." The noblewoman added, "We are all experienced in overcoming difficulties. We are ready to face this challenge." The black mage affirmed, "We are the ones fit to solve this problem. Let's show that we can create a better world here." All the leaders smiled at Kim, hoping for a brighter future. Kim reflected inwardly, thinking about the life journeys of the guild leaders who came from different backgrounds. The paladin from South America, the black mage from the Black Sea region, the heretic inquisitor from Eastern Europe, the viper from China, and the noblewoman from India. All of them have been changed by him. Now the tower is no longer just a tower. I can change this world. Kim asked the leaders of the major guilds, "What should I do?" The black mage replied, "You just need to be yourself. We will teach you politics gradually. We will do everything for you. We will not change the power structure of the tower into a monarchy system, but we will make you a symbol." Kim then called the humble-looking head librarian. "Come on, bring us a book for our next floor challenge." The head librarian asked, "What kind of book do you want?" Kim replied, "A children's book. We only got one children's book before." The head librarian brought a book titled Me and My Space Goat, Antari, with a difficulty level of A and a minimum of 2 participants. Kim said to the guild leader, "I want to choose this as the next floor's challenge." The black mage was surprised. Children's story. There are no resources or land to be gained. Do we really have to do it? Kim explained. Resources and power aren't the only important things. Hundreds of thousands of people enter the tower every day. We need a symbol, and I want to be that. The heretical inquisitor responded, "You've already become enough of a symbol. We will crown you with a title befitting your position." Kim refused. "I can't accept support without doing good. We all need to work together. I need your help to overcome various problems. I will not betray you." Kim extended the hand, holding the book to all the guild leaders who were now forming a circle around him. In his heart, Kim felt confident in his ability to unite them. Kim stood before the guild leaders and declared, "If there are any problems, I will mediate. If a discussion is needed, I will create the space. Trust me. Let's become a team." This prophecy may not offer resources or power, but there is an unfair sacrifice we must face. Kim's words were broadcast throughout the entire tower, making everyone cheer. Kim continued, "A sacrifice like this cannot be accepted. Let's show the world who we really are by completing this prophecy. With this, we can earn their trust. This is the beginning of how we will take control of the tower. We will not ignore sacrifice, even if the level of difficulty is impossible." Kim said to his companions, "Fight by my side." The black mage responds, "This path is very difficult. It's hard to find someone who is strong and virtuous. This path is not for people with good intentions alone." Kim replies, "If hell is filled with good intentions, then heaven might be filled with evil. But we will not give up. Let's show those who have given in to the outside world that we can create a better world." The heretic inquisitor smiles. "I don't mind at all. We must set a good moral example. Kim, you are the only one who can make us better. This is an opportunity that should not be missed." He holds Kim's hand. Viper also holds Kim's hand. "I am the heir of the Orthodox faction. I will follow my master's wishes." Paladin joins as well. "I believe in your intentions. I will risk everything so that this revolution will be remembered as a beautiful failure." He holds Kim's hand. The noblewoman adds, "I don't understand melodrama, but I will follow the majority and hope for a good outcome. I will work hard." He also holds Kim's hand. The Dark Wizard says, "I can't promise success or change my old ways. But if we fail and someone has to die, I'll be the first. That's my promise." He holds Kim's hand and the others. Kim smiles and says, "I also promise I won't let any of you die anytime or anywhere." The head librarian then says, "All right, you, Kim, Paladin, Heretic Inquisitor, Noblewoman, Black Mage, and Viper will become the characters in this children's story. This world is in the midst of its undoing and has an A-level difficulty. The Constellations will oppose you and they will see Kim as an enemy." The head librarian opens the book of prophecy and they are all teleported into the children's story.